I think we are live. I I was expecting to have more people with me here, but it seems like I alone. So yeah. Okay. So discussion about the Ubport project. Um, uh, so first, I think we will start with the Q&A. If anyone have any question, leave it in the IRC, and I will try to answer them as many as I can. Um, so think we will wait a couple of minutes and see if more people stopping by. Okay, so no one is stopping by, so I will start alone then. First of all, I will talk about what the news are and what I'm working on at the moment. So the first thing is I'm currently making a own UBports tree. The UBports tree is going to be based on SudgenMod, and hopefully it's going to replace every UBport device's Android hull. And it's based on SudgenMod 12.1, which is based on Android Lollipop. This will open up the opportunity for more devices to get easily ported to Ubuntu Touch, because right now it's based on the 1+1 is based on Android open source project, which was really hard to get working because the 1+1 is a CAF device, which is a custom made Android 3 from Code Era forum, aka it's a Qualcomm device. This means that I had to manually apply those updates to the device, so it will work with the Android open source project theory. And as I'm thinking forward. We at Ubport are planning to have as many devices as possible, and then we need to make the foundation as good as possible and as easy for everyone that come around and want to port Ubuntu Touch to other devices. Make it easier for them. So that's why we based on the mod based, which essentially have almost every Android device supported. So what we plan with that is that that you can just download the mod device, the device repo for your device, and it will do everything automatically, because as in mod you have those dependency files which fetch all the repos that that device need. So essentially what we want is you download the tool, the repo tool and everything with the repo tool, so you can easily just type, as you do now with mod, brunch or lunch, bacon, which is the 1+1 device, and if you download every device file and its dependency automatically and really easy. That's in a nutshell what we want. So you can just build your device and push it to your device really easy. That is in a nutshell what we want. But fundamentally, and everything we want is easier to port. We want it a lot easier to port to as many devices as possible, because right now there is not many devices that only work with the Android open source project. So and right now the status of the device or the tree is actually function right now. I have a working version right now that is on GitHub that have some compile errors, but if you manage to get past them, I managed to get past them. We have a working tree. Some part is not working in the Android hull, but it does boot. So a little bit more work is needed, and we think we have a working mod based on the 1+1 and the 1+2 and the 1+X. That's the devices I will doing now. I have the 1+1, which is working in the Android open source and is working. The base is working with the new Ubport 3. I have the 1+2 that is, it's not booting yet. I am working that, but my first priority is the 1+1 right now. And the 1+X is on its way. I have already ordered a device or got a device that is, so the 1+X is coming too. We also have another developer, which is not with me today because he had to do something else, that is porting the Motorola device, the Motorola G device. He will also depend on the tree that I am working on, and hopefully get a working order soon. What more we have? I will try to show off. I have the 1+1 here running Ubuntu right now, and I will show. This is actually running on the new tree that I'm working on. It's really laggy because as you can see, it's right now it's functional, but it's really unstable. So I have to work a lot with that tree that I'm working on. This is running on Android Lollipop acid base. So yeah, that's coming out soon. I've been working really hard on that, so I hope that will be a success. I see that it worked. It was a lot easier to port this when I have the mod base. This was just pretty much downloading the source and editing the console and stuff like that, and it works. The same with the 1+2 I'm trying on. They have a working mod port, so I do think that will go as smooth as the 1+1. The 1+X X, I think, will go even smoother because it's pretty much the same base, the same hardware, as much as I understand, as the Mako, the Nexus device. If I'm not completely wrong there, I just ordered the device. I didn't even look at the specs or anything. I just saw overdue, and a friend of mine was like, "Yeah, I got it from him." So, uh, yeah. So to sum it up, the Salja mod base is on its work, and it should be out really, really soon. Um, if you go to if you want to try out the base, the Salja mod base to Ubuntu Touch right now, you can. I have posted the source. Everything is on GitHub. Everything is in working order. So if you just go to uh, github.com/ubport/android, you will get you can download the manifest for the new version. And uh, so, and as I say, if anyone have any question, just drop it in IRC, and I will take it as I go. Yeah, I will take the. We have one question. Yeah, to fill the time. Yeah, I was kind of late with that. Um, mm, mm, mm. Yeah, the video is frozen. The sound is okay. How's the video now? Uh, I may ask. I do not have the best internet in the world, so this is interesting to see how this stream will go. What about the updates? What do you mean updates, like updates from Canonical or updates for me? If you mean update for Canonical, every update will my server does pull directly updates from the Canonical server. So that should, when a Canonical release a new update, you should have it on your phone in about an hour, I guess. An hour you will have the updates. The server does check the server every hour, so and it does recompile and everything within an hour. You mean updates by me? The updates by me will come when new stuff, when I fix new stuff. When I fix new stuff, I usually will push it to the development branch first, and then the other part will be automatically, like, I can stop it if something goes wrong. So I will push it to the development branch, then it will take 5 hours, and it will push to the release candidate branch, and then it will go 1 day, and it push to the stable branch. That's how I set it up. So if something goes wrong, if I download the developer version or the devel branch, and I see if it doesn't boot or something like that, I can stop the release for every other devices. So yeah. Yeah, and when we talk about updates and updates from Canonical, I just mentioned that I will not edit the base of the updates. The updates will come pure as it is from Canonical, and I do not edit anything of that. So you will not see any customized Ubuntu Touch on the Ubport devices. The only thing I do is port the device and make the base Android whole, and that work with that device. So nothing will be customized. It will be pure canonical updates and pure Ubuntu Touch. So I'm glad for question. I need more question. Yeah, there we go. How much worked on the SideGMod version of the Ubuntu Touch? How much work? That what is working right now? I literally just crashed this device yesterday. So this device does not have anything. It has I get rotation work. That's the only thing that works. No sound, no Wi-Fi, no anything. Uh, so right now the Sajam version is it does nothing. But as I said, I just flashed it yesterday and I haven't done anything because I have been busy watching sessions from Ubuntu Touch, no, from Ubuntu Summit. So right now, nothing works. Uh, it boots, the graphical works, and the rotation works. So yeah, it's pretty lacking. It does say it have an icon for, as I see now, it have an icon for Wi-Fi, but Wi-Fi does not work, and it does have a sound icon, but sound does not work. So I need to get some time to fix that. I hopefully will get some parts working this week. I hopefully will have some. I hopefully will have Wi-Fi working this week and sound as I expect. Um, as I expect, the Sajin mod base will work. It will be a lot easier to port because the part of Sajin mod, no, the base of Sajin mod does work much better on the OnePlus One than Android open source project does, because right now there is no Android open source base that does work with the OnePlus One. As long as much as I know. But so uh, right now the release is on the server now. Is based on my own version of the tree that is kind of mix and max with some parts of Sunshine Mod, some part of CAF, the Cora forum, some part is from the Android open source. Most of it is from the Android open source project. And I realized that when I was going to port the OnePlus 2 and the OnePlus One, I cannot use the same source because that was customized to one device, and I feel like then I kind of lock myself in a hole that I need to make a new tree every time I need a new device, and that's why Ubuntu Touch porting is so hard, because you need to mix and match things that does not normally work with the Android open source tree, and that is really time consuming, and I do understand why it's not as many porters around. And I also would like that you prefix the question with question so I can see them better. But uh, uh, like flashing other OS like Sailfish and Ubuntu. So what do you think it will be get a bit stable this month? I It's hard to say when it will be stable, because right now I really don't know. Uh, I do know that it will be easier to port, but I do know how well they will work. Um, uh, that was a really hard question. This month, I will say maybe it will work, but not how well it will work. Because right now I have no idea if it. I have some idea that it will work, but something can blocks it. Come up and block, and I need to use this month to fix that one block. So things like that, it's hard to say and hard to set an ETA on. But I will see maybe this month, maybe, but not stable. Stable that needs a lot of testing and stuff like that. But maybe a working version this since it's based on Sajin mod. As I said many times, is that it's based on Sajin mod, which should work on every device, or does work on the OnePlus One at least, and does work on mostly every Android device. So it should be just compiling it together, and you should have a working base. It should, as it should, just compile together, and it should work. Something need to be modified, of course, um, but when I say it should work, it doesn't mean it does work. That's also Good to know. Question from Chloe: Will Ubuntu Touch work? Will Ubuntu Touch working on the OnePlus One with things like calling working be your Christmas gift to the world? Um, yeah, I do expect to have calling working uh, before Christmas. Yes, because as I said again, having an on-site mod stuff like that should work automatically, but doesn't always do that because it's a completely different operating system, but the base is the same. So yeah, I do expect to have it released before Christmas. Yes. Um, um, and I think I will be working when we're speaking about different devices. I think I will be working with the OnePlus One, OnePlus 2, and OnePlus X at the same time. So I guess how I'm thinking about doing this is maybe when one thing works uh, on the one device, I will. Um, I have I have to think about how I will develop these devices. But the OnePlus One is my first priority, so that will become for Christmas. The OnePlus 2 maybe before Christmas. I don't really know because that is based on ARM 64. So I do not know how well that works with Ubuntu Touch yet. So I have to see about that. But the OnePlus X, I do not think that will be before Christmas. So yeah, the OnePlus One, hopefully, probably before Christmas, we will have calling working. But stuff like GPS, which is super hard, which is I guess is harder than even calling, probably will not be before Christmas. And stuff like GPS, I do not have the highest priority on that. I have pretty low priority on the GPS right now because uh, I feel like calling and SMS and sound and headphones and camera is more important than GPS. But comment or leave a comment if I'm wrong on that. If GPS is something that you need, and I probably will move it up in the priority. Um, and I talk. So more question. We need more questions. But if I were talking about other devices than the OnePlus devices, we have. I have talked with some developers that do port Ubuntu Touch to. As I said, I talked with the Moto X guy, not the Moto X, but the Moto G guy, and he will probably maybe port more devices than the Moto, but we have no plans for that yet. But we are thinking about what devices do you guys want to see running Ubuntu Touch, and if there is some devices that you want to get a higher priority, we will have a voting page at devices.ubports.com where you can vote on which device you want to see first. First, to be ported first. But right now, my biggest priority is OnePlus One, then OnePlus 2, and then OnePlus X. But if something else, if there is a huge amount of people that want, for example, the Samsung Galaxy S7 that's coming out soon, you can they can vote on that device, and that device might get push it higher up on the priority list. And more about I'm thinking a bit about because as one person or two person to we have two person that are porting Ubuntu Touch right now. We do not have the financial for buying all those devices because devices are expensive. So we will have, for example, if someone want to see a Samsung device like Samsung Galaxy S6 or 7, um, they we will have on the device page you can like donate to see that device or donate. Uh, uh, so the community is paying the device because right now we as two persons we have no near. I have already bought like 3 devices just for development, and I bought this device for myself. So yeah, we will have donations which you can donate to specific devices, and so the devices will be paid with donations. We have a question here. If someone tries to port using the ScienceMod base, do he have to host something in a personal server? Yeah, that's a good question. Um, that's completely optional. You can. We will provide developers with servers if they want to use our servers. Our service is already running all the software and everything that is needed to have the servers and update servers for the OnePlus 1 right now. So yeah, they will be able to use our server. We will set up on a service that people can upload their image without needing to go through me or the other developers to upload new versions of their port. We're thinking about making this as easy for the developer as possible because right now it's already hard to dev, to it's already hard to port Ubuntu Touch. So why would we make it harder to upload new images and push new updates? So yeah, we will make it easy for other to choose if they want to use our servers and get. Then you will get support, like you will get the forum, your own server, forum topic and everything like that. We get an our download server where you can use to upload your images, and you will get the OTA servers and the update servers that we have, and we will also love to help every porter to make the goal and make everyone. Um, yeah, we want to make it as easy as possible for every developer that want to port Ubuntu Touch. We really want to see Ubuntu Touch on more devices than right now. Right now, the only devices, there is no device that have full support to everything without the Nexus device and the official uh, the official canonical devices. So right now, I think our plans is to make it easy, make everything the fundamental. So the only thing that the developers need to do is compile their own version and fix the bugs and stuff like that with their own devices. And yeah, and we're always happy to help everyone, every developer that want to port. And yeah. So do we have more questions here? Mm, uh, I turn on GPS off and tape the camera on Android, and 90% I have NASA. No, I don't. Um, yeah, that's why I compile my own version of Android, and I so I'm sure that NASA can't spy on me. Uh, on one Kickstart porting on Ubuntu Touch phones. Yeah, we have actually had that idea out to have a Kickstarter, uh, but I feel like uh, is it necessary to kind of when we is it I it's a hard question about that because, first of all, if I'm gonna have to have a Kickstarter, um, where do I put the money? Like right now, I live in Norway, and Norway have some, and I do not have a company. And in Norway, you need to have a company to have your own, like store the money, um, because and if not, you need to pay 25% of that to taxes, and that's not what I want. I want something that where we can uh, buy devices without needing to start up a company to like have everything with money. And I think as a Kickstarter, I don't really know. I need to think about that. Maybe maybe Kickstarter. Uh, when we have another question. I tried to port Galaxy Tab 2. Unfortunately, nothing happened after Flash. No debugger. How can I proceed? Oh, okay. Um, no debug at all. The best thing, uh, when you say no debug at all, do you mean that you did not get the last KSMG, or yeah, the last logs from the Android kernel? Because that's the best log to look at when you get no no logs from Ubuntu. So the best thing is to look at the kernel logs, and the best thing is to do that if it divide. I can actually send a link where we have from the wiki that has our really good explanation on how to extract logs from the kernel. Give me a sec to find that. Um, Here. I think that is the best one to. There you can see how to extract the debug messages, and if you do not have, if you cannot find last KMSG, um, I think that I think that log will be there anyway. So I think that log will be there anyway, but there is special method you need to do if you, for example, if you're stuck in a boot loop, or that your device is stuck at boot or something like that. There is a special procedure that is needed to extract those logs, because what with last KMSG is that it's just for the last boot. So if you, for example, boot into if you first boot in, if you use the for example multi-roam, and you first boot to Ubuntu Touch, and then it reboot back to the multi-roam manager, and then reboot to the recovery to try to get those logs, you will get the logs from when you booted into multi-roam, the multi-roam screen. So what with last KMSG is that it's the logs from the last boot, not not the current boot. Like if you boot into recovery and then reboot into Android, you will get the logs from when you booted to recovery. That's how last KMSG works, and those logs will always be there. If uh, if they're not there, uh, your kernel is not functional at all. Um, but I have never had problem with not getting last KMSG. So do we have more questions? No. We need more questions. I I kind of get out of what I want to talk about, and so but right now I am focusing on. I probably said this already, but to sum it up, I'm focusing on getting the base ready, the Android ready. Um, uh, you're right. It's not empty. It shows nothing from a kernel. It should nothing from it. Okay, so if it shows nothing from your kernel is not functional. But if you download, was that the CyanogenMod kernel, or was it another kernel? If it was yeah, question. How do we build the same image you have? Um, if you mean the Flash, I will take first how to build the Flash images or the update images that is on the server. Right now, the server is doing everything automatically, but if you want to build off those images by yourself to have to flash with the console tool or something like that, you will have to make a folder where you have first one that named partition, then you have one that named system. In system, everything that you want to be in the system or the root of Ubuntu Touch, like if you want to edit a file or config file, you can edit that. And what's in this, I'm talking about the device tarball that you need for flashing updates. That's a device tarball that is specific for your device, and that need, as I said, one partition would have the boot.image and would have the recovery.image. That's living inside the partition folder. The next folder is in the system folder, where everything in the root folder of Ubuntu Touch goes. So like every config that is specific need to be editing for the device. The best thing you can do is to download a pre-made tarball from my server and see how the setup is there. It's hard for me to explain, mainly due to my poor English skills, because I live in Norway. And yeah, so next question. How do you like Ubuntu Touch, and do you think we need to add? How do you like Ubuntu Touch, and do you think it needs added in the future? How do you like? Okay, I can start. How do you like Ubuntu, because they have dots around the touch. So how do I like Ubuntu? I absolutely love Ubuntu. If you can't tell already, because I don't even own a machine with another operating system. I have Ubuntu on everything. I now I even have Ubuntu on my phone. So I absolutely love Ubuntu, and Ubuntu Touch is one. I think it's one of the greatest thing that's happened to phones, because mainly because of the converge and how you can just put the device down and you get a full screen desktop. And that's really amazing to me how long how oh, how the Ubuntu both desktop and Ubuntu Touch have evolved since just a couple of years, and now we have a working phone, and soon we have a working desktop where we can run, just plug it down and you get a full desktop and everything works. That's something I that really amazed me, and I'm actually blown away that you have come so far as we has right now. And that's one of the reasons why I started Ubport, is because it's kind of sad to see that devices it's not been ported more than it is, and I think that's it's due to because it's so hard. But still, we need more devices that run Ubuntu Touch. Right now, it's just a few devices, and I want to get that number increased, because I think that if you have more devices that developer can work on, developers will come around and make more apps to it. And And when developers have more options to where they can just make more apps, because they can just download, instead of buying a new Ubuntu device, they can just download the image to their existing device and flash it on there and develop their apps that we want. I think that is something that Ubuntu needs to get more popular than it is right now, because now it kind of have the problem that users need apps and apps need users, and that I think that is a really hard problem to be solved. Like take the WhatsApp for example. WhatsApp don't want to, as far as I understand, don't want to make Ubuntu Touch yet because it doesn't have enough user base. But WhatsApp users don't want to move to Ubuntu Touch because they do not have WhatsApp. So that is a problem that we need to solve. And how I uh, um, think about that and how we can solve that is actually giving the developers options to just download their OS and flash it on their device, and then you can download apps instead of buy. Of course, you have the emulator, but it's not the same as running on a real hardware. Instead of buying a new Ubuntu Touch device, and most of the developers won't do that because buying a device just for developing is something that developers, I think developers not do just to make a Ubuntu Touch app. Uh, but if they have the options to just download it, flash it, and build the app, uh, that's something I think will help with that problem. Uh, Next question. And do you think it needs added in the future? Um, um, what I do not get that question, but uh, what do I think that need to be added in the future? Right now, the biggest thing that need to be added it's more app and a better app store. But more apps is something that Ubuntu does need. The Ubuntu version now it's a pretty functional operating system and it's worked perfect and everything works. But the lack of apps is something that I think users might do it that they don't want the device because it does not have the apps that they want. Like for example, they do not have Snapchat or apps like that. Or they do not even have a native Facebook app. And I think that's something that users will look at and kind of like, um, it's better to buy an. They will probably say that it's better to buy an Android device because it have those apps. I think Windows Phone have the same problem on their device, and as I see, they are trying. Microsoft is trying and trying and trying, and they even want to pay the developers to make apps through their platform. So that will be a huge problem, I think. Next question. Um, what can Canonical do to help you in deporting Ubuntu? What Canonical can do is what they can do. Right now, I don't think they can do much because they have done a lot for me, and I got a lot of help for them. So that's a hard question because I have asked them a many questions, and I got a lot of help for Canonical. So one thing that might no, I do think I do not don't need so much help for Canonical because there's, as I see it from now, I don't see anything that I need them their help for, except I do already get help from Canonical, but more than I already get is I do not know, honestly. Next question. What is your favorite Ubuntu Navigate apps? For me, it's obviously, I do really like the Terminal app, actually. The Terminal app is superb. I love it to bits. It's so lovely to just I can build C++ code on the go. Like the other day, I was sitting actually on the bus compiling C++ and was like, "This is amazing." Uh, I now can compile C++ on Ubuntu with my phone, and like uh, have Cyan gone too far? Yeah, I was kind of amazed to do that. One thing that amazed me too is that I actually built parts uh, on with my phone that does work with the desktop. So it's really cool to see how much thing I can do with Ubuntu Touch running on my phone and everything I can do with it. So that for me is Telegram, and no, the terminal, and the second is Telegram, because I use Telegram all the time, and yeah. Next question. Um, when will you only use Ubuntu Touch for you? Um, uh, when I only will use Ubuntu Touch, I already do as my BQ device. I use this. This is my device that I use all the time. I do not use Android anymore. I did use it before I got this, but when I got this, I absolutely love it and I use it every day. This is my device that I use every day, and I absolutely love it. Um, uh, uh, Next question. Oh, I did not read the whole question there. Uh, Sorry about that. I have a I have 4K screen on my laptop, and I have uh, HDMI screen on that one. So everything is like super huge, and I only get like 2 lines of the question. So I did miss that. Sorry about that. So I will take that question out. When will you only use Ubuntu Touch for your phone, and you have tried Telegram 2? It's much better. And have you tried Telegram V2? It's so much better. Um, Telegram V2, is that? Uh, I have no idea about that. Is that another app? Uh, you need to, Chloe. You need to explain what Telegram V2. I haven't followed the Telegram development, so I have no idea about that. Um, Guest ask, can we install Google Apps on the Ubuntu Touch phone? No. Right now, no. And if you mean Android apps, no. Uh, if you mean Google apps like Gmail and stuff like that, you can install the web apps, but no native apps. If you mean Android apps, no, you can't do that. Ubuntu Touch, the canonical was talking about maybe supporting that, but they do want their own apps and want them to work well with working with really well with the Converge. Next question. Do you think you will port a lot of cheaper devices, such as one that's around 2 years old, or a few expensive new phones? Uh, I do think I will. I will actually. To answer that, I will port the devices that are most popular, I would think, and not depending on price. It's actually depending on how popular they are and how people want them. Because what I want is for everyone, or as most people as possible, to experience one experience Ubuntu Touch, and that's why I will try to port to all the most popular phones. And right now, I choose to port to the OnePlus because one, because I have it, and two, because it's a perfect developer phone, and a lot of developers have it. So that's why I choose to have the OnePlus One, even the OnePlus One, Two, and X. So yeah. Uh, so next question. Uh, um, and thanks to I Set Late and Chloe for saying I'm cool. I'm not as cool. um, there are central apps which is absolutely needed as daily basis. If it support Google gaps, if we, yeah, that was not a question. That's why you need to prefix it with question so I can see the difference between question and before I read them. Um, mm, mm, mm. Uh, uh, okay, so the session is soon over, so I will stop with the question right now and wrap up and kind of sum up the stuff that we have gone through this session. So first of all, I was talking about the new Ubport branch and the Ubport branch that is based on the Sajimod. What I really want with that is to make porting easier. That's the main reason why I choose to be based on Sajimod, and because it will make because Sajimod supports so many devices as it does, porting will be a lot easier because the base is already there. The Sajimod had done an incredibly job on making it to so many devices as it is now. Uh, and also, I forgot something. Is it a daily driver on the Oppo now? No, it's not. It's unstable, and some stuff is not working on the Oppo right now. Right now, the development of the OnePlus One will go over to using this Sage mod base as I do on this device. So the development for OnePlus One will stop a bit and kind of maybe go back a step because I will have a new base going on, and that need a lot of I don't I do expect to be some bugs that needs to be fixed. I don't expect to like just push the image since it's based on Sajimod, just push it and it will work. I do not expect that, but it in the theory that should work because the Sajimod mod base work perfectly on the OnePlus One, and in theory that should work and just compile it together and it should work. But in reality, it does not do that. So I do expect that I need to fix some bugs before I release more version of the OnePlus One. So right now, it's what is working on the OnePlus One is Wi-Fi is working, SMS and cellular does work, but not call. Camera does not work, and headphone does not work. Headphone does work, but it does not switch from speaker to headphone. It's the same problem with calls. It do not uh, uh, switch from speakers to the microphone on top here, and no, the speaker on top here and the microphone on the bottom. The microphone does not work on this device yet, so that's a problem with calls too. So that's why calls fails. When you try to call, it try to call to the Android. It try to send a message to the Android hall to turn on speaker and turn on everything, and does fail there. And so that's why, in a nutshell, that's why call does not work. But as I said, I will not do any more developing on this branch, this Android KitKat branch, as it's running on the server right now. On the server, it's running on KitKat not the server, but the devices, the updates or the images that is on the server right now is KitKat, and I will not do any more developing on a KitKat branch. I will mainly focus on the Lollipop branch and getting that working on the 1+1 right now, or actually get it fully working, the tree first and everything. So we have 1 minute left now before we are done, and I will take the 1 minute left to thank everyone that joined us today, and thank you for every question. Um, and sorry for long delay at the start. I had some technical issues with because I I wasn't prepared enough. So sorry about that. So and I would say everyone, thanks for joining us, and check out our forum and register on our forum if you have any question whatsoever. Or I will be on the IRC, both on the Ubport channel and on nearly every Ubuntu uh, Ubuntu channel, but mostly I am on and mostly I will be on the Ubuntu Touch channel. And I will take to last. I have a question from Chloe that I got on Telegram, so thanks for that, Chloe. When do you think you will switch from KitKat to Lollipop base? I have already done it, for me at least. When do I think I will release it? I think I will start to roll out the Lollipop bridge. Maybe I will roll out that on the development branch, and I think that will be up really soon. I will say in about 1 or 2 weeks, you can maybe try out the Lollipop base. I really don't know. I'm really unsure. I need to, first of all, I need to debug this device and see how much problem it is and see what's the problem. So I really don't know. It might be just a small problem, a permission problem or something like that, that like when you open up the permission, everything works, and probably will not happen. But something like that might happen. Like you have a bug that will say you don't have permission to use stuff like that, and when you open that permission, everything just works. So I do not know. It might work and it might not work, and I might release it soon and I might not release it soon. So I don't really know. But thanks everyone for joining, and I hopefully will have a summit next summit. A session next summit. So yeah. Thank you, everyone, and see ya. Bye.